All right, am I back, guys? Okay. Am I back? Okay. All right, I don't know what to say. It says I'm live, but this is really, really sketchy. I don't know. Well, let's try it this way. I'm going to do this camera forward facing so I can actually. Okay, we're back at Dinosaur Store. Um, all right. Well, this is really odd. So I apologize about that. I don't know what the deal is because I can go out there in the living room and they're watching stuff, and they don't seem to be having any kind of a problem. The only problem I'm going to have now, that if this is working, is that everything will be inverted. So I don't know, but it's frustrating. Okay, it says that I'm back. All right. Okay, now it says I have 6 watching. I apologize about that, guys, because I don't really know what the real deal is here. It says I have plenty of bars going all the way across. So it says my connection is good. It's strong. I just don't know what I need to do to improve that. If you have suggestions, I would love to know. What I'm curious about is where was I at when it all dropped off? What was I saying? Because like I was telling you that what I was sharing with you was pretty good stuff. You know, I'd hate to need an exorcism. Oh, that is the truth. That is the truth. But I'll tell you what, it really gets on my nerves. Okay, so Trey's saying looks and sounds good. Okay, well that's good. That's good. I don't know if you were in here before or not, Trey, but I'm having some connection issues, so not sure what's going on with that. So, all right. I was talking about what happened this day in history. You were telling us about the moments in history. Yeah. But did I get very far at all? Before it cut out? I don't know if any of you can remember, because I would hate to rehash the whole thing. Benjamin Davis, I'm thinking about the fanboy. Oh, was I on the Titanic? I mean, not literally was I on the Titanic, but I'm not quite that old. Inspiration mirror. Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Okay, so on Pete Rose and the Titanic. Let me go back and see where I was at. Okay, so I was talking about how Pete Rose claimed that he had the privilege of being born on the same day as the Titanic sinking and Lincoln passing away. Okay, so but he was wrong. He was actually wrong about that. He was born the day before that on April 14th. So I suppose you guys probably didn't hear any of the things that I said, the fun facts about Leonardo da Vinci, did you? Yeah. Well, I know you guys must have heard me talking about the Boston Marathon because somebody did comment about that. All right. Glad the show's back. Oh, me too, man. Me too. I've got to figure this out. So Roger says, greetings from Texas. I learned about your head shaving from your videos. You know what? Those head shaving videos took off more than I thought they would have. Oh, so Josh is saying he lived up north when the Boston Marathon happened. Okay. It cropped out right at that point. Okay. I started to see signs when I was 22 and started with the guard 3 for a while. So Benjamin's talking about having shaved his head. Yeah, shaving your head's great, man. I mean, once you do it, you're never going to go back. Never going to want to go back. Okay, so let me go back and tell you about these facts about Leonardo da Vinci because they're really really good. There's five fun facts about Leonardo, and these are really good. So if I've already said this and you heard it, tell me, okay? I'll try to pay attention to the screen a little bit more. Number one, Leonardo da Vinci did not go to school. It says, although Leonardo is responsible for some of the most innovative inventions and ideas of all time, he never actually went to school. The young Leonardo was taught to read, write, and do elementary mathematics, but beyond that, he was free to roam around the Tuscan countryside. Goes on to say it was during this time spent outdoors that Leonardo began to observe the natural world. His journals show he was especially interested in the properties of water and how birds of prey stalked and caught their food. The second fun fact about Leonardo was he liked to dissect corpses. If you've ever taken an up close look at any of Leonardo's anatomical drawings, you know that he had an in-depth knowledge of the human body. This expertise was gained by dissecting both animals and humans in order to learn exactly how our systems worked. He goes on to say, most of Leonardo's anatomical drawings were made in the 1480s. These images of sinews, muscles, and the vascular systems were incredibly detailed and incredibly accurate. In many cases, these were the very first illustrations of kind in circulation. And number three, his masterpiece was destroyed. A lot of people consider the Mona Lisa to be Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece. However, if history had gone a little differently, there may well be another much larger work at the heart of the Louvre. In the late 1400s, Leonardo was commissioned to create a 20-foot sculpture of the Duke of Milan's father on horseback. And Leonardo worked on the sketches and modeled the sculpture for an incredible 17 years. However, in 1499, Milan was invaded by the French army and the sculpture was destroyed. That's too bad. And this fourth fun fact is my favorite one. It says he wrote in reverse. When he died, Leonardo left around 6,000 pages of journals behind him. These were filled with his ideas, inventions, and even his grocery list. Strangely, many of these journal pages were written in reverse. This meant they could only be read by holding them up to a mirror. It's thought that rather than being a method of coding or encrypting his work, Leonardo actually wrote in reverse in order to avoid smudges. This is because Da Vinci was left-handed. If he had written from left to right, he may well have smudged his writing and ruined his journals. It's funny to me that we would assign some kind of romantic, enigmatic meaning to something when really the explanation was rather simple, such as he just wanted to avoid making smudges. And finally, the fifth fun fact, Bill Gates bought Leonardo da Vinci's notebook. Way back in 1994, Microsoft founder and rare book collector Bill Gates bought one of Leonardo's notebooks, the Codex Leicester, for a whopping $30.8 million. The gargantuan price made it the most expensive book ever sold. The 72-page notebook was written between 1506 and 1510. It contains a wealth of sketches, diagrams, and ideas, many relating to the relationship between the Earth, Moon, and Sun, and offers a glimpse into one of the most famous minds of all time. So if you guys didn't hear my question before, let me ask it now. Have you ever personally experienced any of Leonardo da Vinci's works? Like, have you been to the Louvre? Have you been to the Sistine Chapel? Have you laid eyes on it for yourself? Because what I was saying before was, whenever I experience great art, even if I don't really know who the artist is, I'm in awe. And I can't help, I kind of freeze and I'm just awestruck by that. But I'm interested in knowing whether you guys have ever experienced anything like that before. All right. So hopefully we got all of that. Hopefully we got all of that. All right. So Josh says, as a lefty, I can confirm the smudging. See, it's not something I would have ever thought about. Not something that would have ever dawned on me. Benjamin Davis says, I am yet to see Da Vinci work in person, but his work is inspirational. Hello, Lewis. Thank you for joining us. I've seen it through learning in school. That's the only way I've seen it. The closest come to seeing great works of art are at the Ringling Museum of Art. It's actually the title of the museum is actually longer than that. The John and Mabel Ringling Museum of Art. You know, John Ringling of the Ringling Circus. He was an avid collector of art, and if you go to Sarasota to his art museum, it's incredible how much art he had. It's just unbelievable, and it's just I can't even put into words how amazing that art is. And the other thing I've seen is sculptures by Rodin at the Polk Museum of Art. When that was touring the world, I guess, we were lucky and fortunate enough to see that here, and that was really neat. I ended up buying a book about Rodin while I was there and found it very fascinating. So Benjamin Davis was saying I started to see signs when I was 22, and I started. Okay, I think I already read that one. You worked your way up to you had to start at the number 3 guard, and you worked your way to going skin bald. You know, I it's funny to me. I have a number of young men that frequently ask me if I think they should shave their head, and my answer to that is if you want. I mean, it makes no difference to me. I'm a little biased, but if you have a good head of hair, I wouldn't be in a hurry to get rid of it. But if you're thinning and it's starting to, you know, if someone start to see the beginnings of a runway there, then yeah, by all means, do that. Okay, okay. So Daniel's here. Hey, Daniel. Hard to find good people these days. Thanks for all the help. Well, you're welcome, and thank you for being here. Sandy's back. So Paul's saying, Sith with no name. I hope you don't mind me using your name, Paul. It's just easier for me to remember. Shorter. He says, I like going to the Gene Autry Museum in LA and looking at all the Western art in gear. Boy, that's excuse me. That's going back a ways. Gene Autry. I grew up hearing all about Roy Rogers. My mom grew up watching The Lone Ranger and Roy Rogers, and she loved it. And my dad he was born in 1944. He was originally from Texas, San Antonio, Texas. It's not where he was born, but that's where he lived most of his life. And so the whole cowboy thing, a real thing in my home. My mom was from Michigan, but she grew up watching Lone Ranger and Roy Rogers. So I watched a lot of Lone Ranger as a kid and loved it. All right. So where I went is the back first. That part is completely bald now, if you know what I mean. Okay. Um, oh, we got our numbers back up to 16. If you guys feel so compelled, you can hit the super chat button if you like, but you don't have to. I just enjoy each and every one of you being here, but just want you to know that it's available down there if you want it. My mother's favorite hero was Roy Rogers. Yeah, that's the way my mom talked. That's exactly how she talked. He was a very charismatic individual, and I've only seen a couple of he made when I was a little kid, and a rugged guy. You know, he's a very much action packed kind of guy. Roger says he lives near San Antonio. Where at? If you live near San Antonio, where exactly? My dad was born in let me think, Kerrville, I think, maybe. It started with a K. My dad's been gone, 20 years now, but there's still a lot of the Boswell family that lives in that area. Daniel says, I shaved my head once I started to lose my hair. I recommend just making the transition when it starts thinning. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I was looking up, we were talking about Leonardo da Vinci. I looked up a few quotes by him, and here's one. Here's a couple that I really liked. He says, "Learning never exhausts the mind." Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, in school, I think I would have told you differently. I hated learning in school. I absolutely hated it. I thought most of it was just a waste of time. And I still kind of think that, actually. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. That's pretty good. That's really good. Uh, so I also looked up a quote about the Titanic, and this is a really good life lesson kind of a quote. Dean Devlin, he's a screenwriter and producer. He said the Titanic hit the iceberg not because they could not see it coming, but because they could not change direction. Think about that. The Titanic hit the iceberg not because they could not see it coming, but because they could not change direction. Apply that to your life. Think about that. Most of the things that you know you should avoid are things that you clearly see, but you're unwilling to change your direction. Most of the time, you don't need people to tell you what what harm lies in your path. They know, or you know, but you have to be willing to change direction. That's what people oftentimes don't want to do. I just really love that quote. I know nothing of the man who provided us with it. So Benjamin Davis says, I think it's called The Crown. Yeah, I do. You're talking about the back of the head where it starts to go bald. I am 29 now, and when I did grow my hair back out last year, it was basically see-through on the front, but the sides and the back are thick. Okay. They don't teach you the interesting stuff in school. I agree. And any of the history they teach you in school is very misguided. You find that out as you get to be older and you read a lot of books for yourself. The history that is being fed to you by the public education system, forget it. Just don't even bother. Don't even bother. I mean, if it spurs an interest in history, that's great, but I don't take it to heart. Of course, any of you who are listening to me, that really doesn't apply to because you're not in school. But I do suggest reading good history. And if you want a good suggestion, I was thinking about this today. If you want a good suggestion, one of my favorite books that I read last year was this one. Of course, this is going to be backwards now. This is going to be backwards, but bear with me. This is David McCullough's book called The Great Bridge. It's about the building of the Brooklyn Bridge. Fascinating book. And I think this wasn't his first book. This wasn't his first book. This was his first book. The Johnstown Flood. Yeah, that was good too. But you can kind of tell it was his first book. But this one, The Great Bridge, was really good. I'll try to remember to put a link for it down below. I mean, I might be able to do it right now. But then he also wrote another book called The Path Between the Seas. And that was about the building of the Panama Canal. And that's one of my favorite books. And it's real thick. It's pretty thick like this one. A Great Bridge, look how thick that is. The Path Between the Seas is about the same, if not more. And David McCullough, if you don't know, he is just, well, he's gone now. He passed away a couple years ago, but he was just a fantastic writer of history. So Benjamin says this is his first time here. By the way, I apologize if I chatter on about my experience. It was your video that I found when I made the decision to shave bald, and that's the way I always do it. No razor bumps. But you don't need to apologize. I don't mind. I don't mind you commenting about this stuff. But yeah, I am amazed. Even though it's my advice to people, I'm still amazed that it works as well as it does when I tell you guys to use conditioner rather than shaving cream. Whether you're shaving your face or shaving your head or anything, use conditioner. Don't use shaving cream. it'll mitigate razor burn and bumps and whatnot. It's really, really good. And everyone stop using coconut conditioner. Yeah, that's really good. So Sith with no name. I have David McCall's 1776 book. Yeah, I do too. Where's that at? Do I have it up here? I don't think I have it in my pile up here on my shelf. I got my bookshelf right here in front of me. I need like dozens of bookshelves because I just get books all over the place. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I read David McCullough's biography on John Adams. That was really good. Also, I read about 5 different biographies on John Adams. I don't know why, but he fascinated me. I really related to the man himself, and I think he's given much harder time than what he deserves. No, I said that wrong. He doesn't deserve to be given as hard of a time from people as what they do. I think he's a much better man than a lot of people give him credit for. Okay. All right. So Daniel says, I use the OGX conditioner to shave now. Your recommendation. I haven't used OGX in a while, and I was just thinking about that the other day. I need to get some OGX again. I really did like that. And I only used that because that's what my wife was using at the time. Okay. Davis says, hey, Greg, I've been finding your videos very helpful after YouTube recommended me your V-shaped beard from years ago. Yeah, that goes a long ways back, doesn't it? That's the style I'm going for in a bit. I'm really surprised that video did as well as it did, really. I don't even think it's that good of a video, but I'm thankful. I think that one really took off. That one really, really took off. In fact, let me take a look at something here. I want to see how many. Sometimes I never look at how many views I get on something if it's that old. I'm curious now. V-shaped beard. Here we go. I don't know. I can't see it on here. I'm trying to look it up. I don't even know how many views I have on that one. That was one of my ones that went viral. And look at my beard's like much darker in that one. Oh man, life at that time for my family was very hard, very hard. Whenever I see, because the reason I bring that up is because I look at the thumbnail to that video and I can tell where I was living, and it was not a good time. It was not a good time. YouTube always recommends me videos from years ago. That's interesting to me. It must, because they still continue to get hundreds and hundreds of views every day. I wish all my recent videos would get that. Benjamin says, I'm in absolute awe with how humble you are. Well, I've actually never thought of myself as being humble, but thank you. Thank you. I really do consider that a very nice compliment. It's very reassuring. You know what I mean? Very reassuring. Michael says, hey, Greg, glad to catch you live. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Michael. Really glad to have you here. What are you guys doing for Easter? Do you recognize Easter? Do you celebrate it? Do you go anywhere? Do you have kids or grandkids that you hide Easter eggs for? And I tell you what, I really had some, not a lot. I remember more like Christmas and birthdays more than I remember Easter, but Easter is special to me because I'm a Christian. But just as far as being a kid, the way you interpret it and the way you feel about it's different. It's a little more, it's just all about having fun and for the eggs. That was always a blast. My parents always made that so much fun. Nathan says, it's neat that you can see your old vids and remember what was going on with yourself during that point in time. Yeah, honestly, Nathan, uh, I look back at the body of work that I have created, and I don't know how I've done it. I'm not even saying it's good. I'm not even saying my work is that great, because there's a lot of people who make a lot better work. But when I think about what I've had to struggle with, I'm amazed that I've gotten anything out. Even to this day, I struggle with a lot of things, in a lot of different ways, and I'm gonna be honest with you here. It's very hard for me to get out videos a lot of times. I do it because I want to, because I like it, and I enjoy just this community. But yeah, when I look at, I was in some bad places back then. You know, life is tough. That's why I can talk about the stuff I talk about that's non-beard related, on my videos, because I know what it's like to live through the stuff I'm talking about. Gotta scratch my back here. Benjamin says, my little boy Oscar, he is 7, loves Easter so much because we had all the eggs in the garden. You know, I'm looking at my screen here on my laptop, and this video is so far behind. That's crazy. So Michael says, going to either my parents or my sisters. No kids, single. Not much excitement at my house. I'm going to see my grandparents and aunts, uncles, and cousins. Well, you have a lot of family then you can spend time with. That's good. I remember those days. I'm getting to the age now where the a lot of family members are starting to drop off, either because they're living their own life somewhere else, they're entering a different phase, or they're passing away. Yester says, nice beard. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh, by the way, if you want to know what I have in my beard tonight, I am, and I hate that this is inverted, but bear with me. I know I've said that a number of times tonight, right? But I am wearing Boss Man brand beard jelly. This is vetiver. I don't even know if they put them in the same bottles anymore or not. Incredible stuff. I talked about Boss Man in my last live stream, and it made me realize, thinking about it today, that I should have shared my link with you guys. And if you decide to try out what I have in my beard today, you can go to bossmanbrand.com and use my code Greg15. This is why I need something like Streamlabs or StreamYard, so I can put these codes up on the screen. You can use my code Greg15 all together. It'll save you 15% on your order. Now, I highly recommend Boss Man. They've been around for a while. Beard jelly is different than just having oil or beard butter. It's like a blend between the both of them. And I love, they have like five or six different scents, and they're all amazing. All amazing. And they even have, I think, 5 different kinds of deodorant. I love the fact that some of these beard companies are doing that now. Their Fortify conditioner is some of the best. I love using their conditioner. I wouldn't use it to shave my head though. And one of the things I really like about Boss Man, and I'm going to be making a separate video about why I like Boss Man so much, but they also have co-lotion. Okay, co-lotion. And this is just basically a lotion that acts as a cologne that you can put all over your skin, and yeah, rub it in. It smells all day. It's amazing. Now, I'm wearing vetiver tonight, and vetiver I think might be my favorite. If you don't want to miss out, just go to Boss Man brand. At the end of this video, when I turn it off, I'll make sure. Actually, Boss Man is in one of the links below already. But yeah, use my code Greg15. That'll save you some money. They're a great company. And in fact, there's other links down there likewise. So, oh, oh, hey, Heather. It's so good to see you in here. I am blessed with your presence. So those of you who don't know, Heather Boswell is a sister of mine, and I was able to spend time with her and Joel up in Georgia here recently, and I immensely enjoyed my time with her. So it's good to see her in here. I think I'm making Cadbury egg cheesecake. Ugh. All right, listen, leave a light on for me because I think I might come up there and get some. Yepster says, what do you think about Live Bearded's new labels? Honestly, I haven't seen them. I have not seen them. Makes me sad. I loved the graphics. Hope they still do the graphics for the seasonal scents. Well, let me look them up. What am I missing here? It's been a while since I have been on their site, and I have a code for them. In fact, the code I have for Live Bearded is Kratos. Yeah, like the video game character. I can't remember how much you save. It's like 10 or 15%. But yeah, let's see what the new labels look like. I wish I could put them up on the screen. Once again, it's just another thing I would be able to do with a different service. What do we got? What do we? Well, oh, I think I see what. Oh man, I think I see what you're saying. They look a little plain, don't they? If this is recent, I don't know why they would have made the change. Yeah, I think I like the older labels better. Why would they do that? Now here's a scent that I have not tried. They're Forge or even Legend. I haven't tried Forge and Legend. I haven't tried 1880 also, so those are new. It's been a while since I've had Live Bearded products. Yeah, I can't say that I'm a big fan of the labels, but I mean, no, I did not do a beard trim this week, Nathan. I have not done one. I thought about it, but I have not done one because I don't know what I want to do with this. Michael's saying I'm wearing True North Beard Company, double barrel oil, charred wood, whiskey, and vetiver. Vetiver in anything is so good. I have not tried True North Beard Company yet. I really would like to. Benjamin's saying I'm really enjoying the vibe here. I can't sleep. It's 3 a.m. here in England. Really? So that's where you're from. Oh, Wade's here. Good to see you, Wade. Hey, Greg, had to join late tonight. That's okay, because you know what? We've had a lot of we've had some mishaps with buffering, and I've had to restart the live stream over again. I'm not sure how that's all going to work out in the end, but here we are. Well, that's nice of you, Michael. Says, hi, Heather. Your brother offers a fantastic YouTube presence. I really enjoy his content. Well, that's nice of you, Michael. I appreciate that. In fact, guys, if you would do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Just because, as they say, it does help. Hit the like button. I like Beard Brand, but they are costly. That's what Nathan's saying. Beard Brand. You know what? Here's the thing about Beard Brand. I like Beard Brand, and I like what's his name? The faces of Beard Brand. I can't remember. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. But I was just thinking about them today. And I know it seems to me if they're having a little bit of trouble. Not trouble, but like they're trying to juggle some issues with the cost of everything. And I just think it's a little too diversified what they're trying to do, what they've been trying to do for a while. And I've never really gone full tilt with them. Never have. I have some beard oil by them, and I really like them a lot. but I don't know. For me, they fall a little short. Trey Dunn says I'm wearing Live Bearded Executive Scent. That's my favorite one of Live Bearded Executive. My wife loves that. David Amato, am I saying your last name right? Amato. I love striking Viking vanilla beard butter personally. Striking Viking. I don't think I've ever heard of them. I do like the Beard Struggle. They make tremendously good products. They really do. But I've never heard of Striking Viking. There's a lot of Viking themed beard products out there, beard companies. Benjamin saying, yes, I am from England. It's very windy here tonight and rainy too. Paul saying, I have Legend, Sandalwood and Vanilla. I like it. I even have an old label and new label bottle. I've heard that Legend's really good. I have American Executive. I have a Tombstone. I don't know. I think I had the old version of it where it was called something else. They had to change the name of it, if I'm not mistaken about that. So Michael's saying he's getting a little bit of buffering. Are you guys still experiencing that on this end? I have to figure out what I'm going to do about that. Eric and that's right. Eric and Carlos. Yes, I do like Eric a lot. He just seems like a really good guy. You know what I mean? Eric Bandholz. Yep. He seems like a really good guy. Michael says, I miss the old beard brand. I love the classy 1 ounce bottles over the lucky 4 ounce tin bottles. I have to agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the the tin bottles. I don't have any. I just don't. I've seen them, and yeah, meh. That's all I think of it. The old beer brand was awesome. I miss Jack Malaco's videos. That's what David's saying. Nathan says, Greg, grow a Viking beard. Tutorials as the journey goes. It's tempting. It's tempting to grow it out big again. I've had for lack of better words, the itch to grow out a big beard again. But I don't know. I'm not so sure that I'm completely in with it. Yeah, not so sure. We shall find out. That's the reason I haven't trimmed it here lately. This is probably at about 14 millimeters, I'm gonna guess. Okay, so Roger's saying he has got very good quality where he's at, and Chrome Dome says no buffering. Okay, that's a relief. That's a relief. Benjamin says, I use 2 beard oils. One is a neutral scent I wear every day, and one is date night with my fiance. I wear the Vetiver one. I bet she enjoys that one because I don't know about anybody else, but the Bossman brand Vetiver is to die for. Everything Bossman has is really, really good. And if you ever hear anybody say, I don't like Bossman, it's too greasy, it's because they're using too much. They don't know how to use it. And Bossman's great. Just absolutely great. They're not sponsoring this video, by the way. I'm just saying. That's what I'm wearing in my beard tonight. I think you guys will like it. Oh, Mike. Mike, thanks for showing up. Not what I expected, because you told me what your schedule is like, and I don't blame you for not being able to make it in here, but I'm happy to see you, man. Mike goes back a long ways with me, it seems like. He's one of those people I kind of feel like he's always kind of been there for me. He's very, very supportive. He's been very supportive of my channel, I think for years now, right, Mike? And so I really appreciate him a lot. So it's good to see him in here. Michael says, I really enjoy Carlos and that accent. He and Eric are funny together on stream. Yeah, they are. You know, the thing about Carlos, when I shaved off my big beard, people are like, oh, wow, you shouldn't have shaved off your big beard. It took that long to grow. Carlos takes way more chances and changes things up with his beard more than anybody I know on the internet. Yeah. He does a lot of different things with his beard. So Trey saying just a little on buffering, it comes and goes, but it's okay. The internet is never perfect. Well, isn't that the truth? I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna look into this and figure out if there's something, if there's a more reliable means of making this happen where this isn't going to occur, because I really can't get closer to my router than what I am, because my family is out in the living room doing their thing, and so I'm not going to ask them to move out so I can do the live stream. I might ask them to move out, but not for this. So Gary's asking me if blue is my favorite color. Yes, blue is my favorite. Not this blue. This is more like a baby blue. Royal blue. Royal blue, I think, is my favorite color. Has been ever since I was a kid. And you know why? Because when I was a little boy, my favorite superhero was Batman. And the Batman of the 1970s wore royal blue cape. And when I was a kid, reading Batman comic books and all that was just, that was, oh, I loved it. I loved it. And so it just kind of like cemented in my mind. And I've always loved royal blue to this day because of the 1970s Batman. And I'm not talking about the one on TV. That was back in the 60s and whatnot. That was a joke. But yeah. Yeah. All right. I like the beard. Sith with no name says, I like the Beard Baron as well. So do I, but I haven't seen anything about him in a while. But he jacked up his prices. They are now $30 for 1 ounce. I did get another bottle of Mojave recently. Wow. I'll tell you what. I mean, I used to love his videos. I need to look him up again. But this is one of the things I love about Boss Man. They're very affordable, and he gives you really good packages. I say he. I'm talking about it's how I think of it. The company, but Boss Man brand has clusters things together so well, and it's so affordable, and it's a very good product. It's hard to find that like that anymore with any of them. So check them out. Wow, I've always wanted to try Beard Baron, but that's a little too steep for me for 1 ounce. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. Couldn't do it. Not when there's so many other competitors out there. And if you go to your local farmers market, chances are you're gonna have somebody in your area that is trying to start their own beard product company. It's happening all over the place. David Model says, that's awesome, Benjamin. I've been trying to get my dad to grow his beard while I grow mine out. He's sticking with being clean shaven. It's always fun trying to talk people into growing a beard, isn't it? And they're so resistant. And Michael's referring back to Carlos here, and he says, yes, he does. He does take a lot of chances. I think it's because he can grow his hair out so fast. Guys like that. I have one of my bosses at work. He grows. I swear, he could shave his face in the morning, and if he just grunted like this, all of his hair would just pop back out. I have a feeling that it grows that fast. So, where was I? Yeah, I loved when he shaved his head. His wife's reaction was epic. Yeah. He wasn't ready for that. Like you saw his head, right? Like it was all, he has problems with dandruff and stuff like this. And I think he's made a video recently since then, and I think the caption said something like, I screwed up my head when I shaved it. I haven't watched it, but I have no idea where he went with that. Benjamin said, my dad has always been bearded, and he shaved it once over a decade ago, and we thought we were being robbed by a stranger. I got a funny story that's very similar to that. So, not even 10 years ago, I had a big beard. Not as big as the one I recently had, but it was a pretty sizable beard. And my oldest daughter, who's now 26, she was still in high school. I think she might have been in her senior year. And I shaved my beard off one day. Didn't tell anybody I was going to do it. So I was at home, and I was sitting on my sofa watching TV when she walked in the door. And when she came around the corner, she stopped. Or she looked at me and she stopped, and she kind of back around the corner where I couldn't see her. And then she came in again. She looked at me and she goes, I thought we were being robbed. Very similar to what you're talking about. All right. So Wade says, have you tried a Wi-Fi booster in the room where you were doing the live stream? No, but I will try that, Wade. Thanks for the suggestion. I will absolutely give that a try. Does it work? Does it work pretty well? I mean, if you have experience with it and you have an opinion, I would want to know. So I'll definitely give that. I'll look into that. Michael says I jumped out for a minute, share it with my buddy. Okay. So Paul's saying not when there's live beard. I guess he's probably talking about the Beard Baron and the prices, right? If that's what you're talking about, yeah, I think that's what I mean. So Jay Howard said hi. That's right. I mean, have you been in here tonight? I'm trying to recall all the names. I remember you telling me that you were gonna try to show up tonight. Yeah, I think it's the first time you've been on here tonight, Jay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. So earlier, when I posted that I was going to be doing a live stream tonight, someone actually had left me a question earlier in the day. I was going to wait till tonight to answer it. Then when I got here, it wasn't here anymore. So I hope it didn't delete itself. All right. So Supermep, he's asking, what do you shave your head with? Well, okay. So I feel like I should step out and get a few things and bring it back here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging here while it is waiting for me. But, well, I do use a cartridge razor. If I several different things. If I use a cartridge razor, I use Harry's razor. Okay. I'll use conditioner on my head to shave. If I don't want to use conditioner, I actually have shaving cream that Boss Man makes. Boss Man makes very good shaving cream. It's not like the shaving cream you buy in the store. It's more like the beard. It's more like the shaving butters that you have. Sometimes I'll use that. Sometimes I'll use an electric shaver. And I made a video last week about Brio Raise 2, and yeah, that's a really nice head shaver. But I'm also using a brand new one that a company sent me that I need to make a video about. It's called Max Groom. Man, this thing is nice. This thing is so nice. I'm gonna try to get a video made about it tomorrow. Sometimes I use an electric shaver. Sometimes I use a cartridge razor, and I've used Headblade, Omni, Harry's razor. But as far as prepping the head, a lot of times I'll use conditioner. It's particularly important to use conditioner on your head because your head is not used to a blade moving back and forth across it. That's foreign to that. So it's going to react. That's why people get the razor bumps and the heat rashes and stuff like this. And the conditioner will mitigate that, if not totally make it obsolete. It's also very good for your skin. Okay, so Jay's asking me which Harry's razor. Well, I don't know. They have a lot of different kinds, do they? It's the orange handled one. It's a 5-blade razor, and it also has the detail razor blade at the very top that a lot of people overlook. That's the one. That's the one that I use. Philly fan says, "What time does your stream start? I just got here." Well, I started at 9. I had some buffering issues, and I had to stop that stream and start another one. But my goal is to do live streams every Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 9 for right now, because I just started doing them. It's possible that I might do them more often than that. So be looking for that. But for right now, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. That's what's working for me. It seems to be working for you guys likewise. And now I have 30 people watching. That's really nice. It's the most I've had so far. Benjamin asked me, I use the Chrome version of Harry's razor. I have that. I have that handle also. In fact, I just recently got it. I really like Harry's razors. I don't. I kind of stopped using Gillette after they kind of ticked me off with the whole toxic masculinity thing, and I haven't gone back to them. I haven't gone back to Gillette. Don't get me wrong; they make great razors, absolutely great razors. But yeah, I just haven't gone back because I'm satisfied with Harry's razors. And I usually leave a link down below. Let me see if I've done that. Well, I don't have it in this one. I'll get back to it though. So Trey's asking me, do you still play the piano? I've watched your ragtime videos. They are awesome. Well, thank you. I don't play as much as I used to. I haven't had the time, and it's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot to keep up with. And one of the questions I had to ask myself, because I wanted to play professionally, and I've actually auditioned for Disney and for Busch Gardens and whatnot many years ago, and I wasn't good enough for that, and I'm not good enough for it now. Those guys are on a different level, but no, I don't play as much as I used to. Every once in a while I'll sit down and I want to, but I also need more privacy than I have. So, and it kind of annoys my family, to be quite frank. So Mike is asking, do you remember the Cut Buddy? You turned me on to that one. I still use it to this day. I still have a Cut Buddy. My problem with Cut Buddy is it doesn't seem to hold up as well. Like anytime I try to clean it or it falls apart. This happened to two of them I've had, and I have a hard time getting them back together. It's been difficult. I like the company. I like the owner. I just wish that they wasn't as delicate as some of the other ones. Durability is real important for me with that. But I do, the Cut Buddy feels really good. But Mike, wait till you see this new head shaver that I'm going to be introducing here very soon, and I think you're going to be thoroughly impressed with it. Okay. So Benjamin says he'll be turning up more often. Well, I hope all of you guys do. Michael says he's a sucker for a live stream. I enjoy them also. Gary says, I'm not doing anything special on Easter Day, but every day is Easter and Christmas to me because I acknowledge the work Jesus did on the cross daily. Yeah, that's the way I feel too. Gary. Yeah, absolutely. So Sith with no name says, I would not try to go live against George Bruno. I watch him too. I do too. I show up for his live streams, and sometimes I comment on his. Me and George Bruno him and I are friends. We go back quite a ways. I'd say we've been friends for probably 7 years, at least. But he's a good guy. I really like him, and you're right. I would not want to go up next to him. So I have to check. I think he does his randomly, doesn't he? I don't think he has a set time. Maybe he does. I don't see all of his stuff. I was actually on his live stream tonight before I came over here. Benjamin says, "Yeah, Gillette really shot themselves in the foot with their advertisements. Yeah, that's why I won't go back. And that was years ago now. At this point, I just still won't go back." Chrome Dome says, "I don't get why Harry says not to use on the head." I have heard that so many times. It always gets brought up too. I don't know why. I guess maybe they don't want the liability. It's a razor. Razors do what razors do, however you want to use them. I don't know. That's weird to me. David Motto says the whole Gillette thing ticked me off as well. I used them for a while, then I just switched to a straight razor, not going back. I've never used a straight razor. People are always trying to get me to try a straight razor, but I don't know. Maybe I would like it. Maybe I wouldn't go back if I tried some. Mike says, I'm very interested in the new one. Yeah, I tell you what, man. It's more affordable than the Cut Buddy. We're talking about the head shaver. This new one I'm going to show you is actually its original price is about the same as the Cut Buddy and still less expensive than the Brio. But for right now, you can get it for less, like 60% off. It's really nice. Really nice. So Jeremy asked if I ever used beard coloring. No, no. Uh, Volt Grooming tried to turn me on to that, and they had a different take on beard coloring. They have a coloring that's not a dye. So this coloring you can brush into the beard and you can wash it out same day if you wanted to. And I thought that was a really neat idea. It made sense the way he talked about it. I don't have a deal with Volt, but I thought that his idea was interesting. But no, I don't use any kind of coloring. Although, I mean, I tell you what, sometimes the fact that this side of my beard, this side of my mustache is more white than this side irritates me. But I'm not going to do anything about it. Benjamin says, I have never looked back. I used to use Mach 3 and I liked it, but I moved to Harry's and never looked back. Yeah. I don't know why, but Harry's just really, I find satisfying. Mike's asking if the new one's easy to clean. Maybe I should just wait for the video. Yes. Yes, it's very easy to clean. I'm just super impressed with it. I'm really excited about it. I feel lucky that they reached out to me. I get a lot of people who reach out to me and want me to try things, and sometimes I don't respond to them. I'll look at stuff and it's not for me. I'm not interested in just peddling something just because it's available. It's got to be something that really interests me and that I think my viewers could be benefited by. Michael says, got to rep them grays. Mine get me compliments. That's the thing. That's what people don't understand, is that the salt and pepper look is good. It's beneficial, and it's respected. It really is. Women like the salt and pepper look. Even younger women like the salt and pepper look. All right? So, yeah, you got to realize that. That's why I would be very hesitant about using beard coloring, because to me personally, my viewpoint, my opinion, and that's all it is that I think when people dye their hair, whether it's on their head or on their face, to me it makes them look insecure. They can't deal with what they just naturally have. They can't rock. They're not willing to rock what they already have naturally, and that's just my view on it. But that's all it is, just an opinion. It's not worth much, but that's what I think. So Twitch Beard says, what's good? Well, a lot of things are good. A lot of things are good. I'm trying to think. Oh man, I know this. Twitch Beard, don't I? I know this. Where do I know you from? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to jog my memory. Do you have a YouTube channel? I'm thinking that you probably do. Or maybe I know you in person. So Roger says, what is the secret for using a safety razor on your head shave? Well, I've only used a safety razor a couple of times. I made a video about it, and I will tell you that I'm not a big fan of using a safety razor. A lot of guys are. They're like diehard fanatics about safety razors. I'm not. Okay, but I will tell you, go slow. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure, and you don't want to take long swipes like I did. Okay? Short strokes, very little pressure. Let the weight of the razor itself do the work. Use conditioner, and take your time. Take your time, because it's a different ball game, completely different ball game. Okay. Let me go back up here. I think I might have overlooked something. So Mike is saying if I didn't rep the grays, I'd have to shave. Yeah. True. What's funny, Mike, is when I shaved my big beard off, the stubble that came back in was very light. That's something I had never seen before. I wasn't used to that. I've always rocked like darker stubble. Not anymore. Not anymore. Sith, no name, says, I used Just for Men for about 2 years since my beard turned salt and pepper. So young, but decided to discontinue use and just go with what God gave me and go all natural. Best decision of my life. There you go. There you go. There's your testimony. Michael says, when you dye your beard, you dye the entire thing. And you get light brown and dark brown. Yeah. Have you done that? It's definitely not for me. Benjamin says, what I like about Harry's is the way the blades are always sharp and is very flexible. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. That's a good point. The blades are flexible. I think Gillette also markets something like that too, but they're not. It's very easy to run across the head, and you still have to be careful because if you're careless, you can still cut yourself, no matter what precautions you seem to be taking. But that flexible head certainly makes it a lot easier. Michael says, okay, there's my man Twitch. Save your money and rock the grays. Yeah. So Jay's saying, how many shaves do you get with Harry's? Probably too many, to be honest with you. I don't keep track. I run my finger and go, does that feel dull or not? I probably use a cartridge way longer than I should. I don't even know. And I'm not avoiding the answer because I'm embarrassed. I just really don't know. I can tell you though, it's probably way longer than I need to. How many shaves? Okay. Oh, so Philly is asking me, what did you think about the UFC this past weekend? There's only 3 fights that I liked. The Chandler. Oh, shoot, my mind is escaping me now. Well, the last 2 fights, and then the one. The names are just gone in my head. The guy who's a really fast kicker, really good kicker. I think he's from Mexico or Brazil. I can't remember. Amazing guy. I'm a big fan of his, even though I can't remember his name. Those are only 3 fights I liked, and I found that the fight cards with the really big names tend to be less exciting because people are afraid of pulling the trigger. But I did like those 3 out of 15 fights. I really only cared about 3 of them. Yeah, Patty. Yeah, Patty the Batty. That was a good fight. Really good fight. But here's the thing: I didn't care who won that fight because I liked both guys. I really do. So Twitch Beard says he does have a YouTube channel. Okay, so I think I know who you are. I feel pretty sure, but I don't watch a lot. Believe it or not, I don't watch a lot of beard channels. But I'm gonna look you up now and see. So you have 431 subscribers. Let me see where you at here. Oh yes, I do know who you are. Okay, I need to. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and hit subscribe because apparently I'm not subscribed to you, guy. I'm subscribed to you now. I subscribed to you live on here. So yeah, that's cool. In fact, on this on the thumbnail you have for one of these videos, you look like Heather, the sister I have up in Georgia. You look like her, or she looks like her, I should say, not you. But yeah. So anyway, I subscribe to you. I know I've seen some of your videos. Okay, I did say Jose says hi. You've been showing up a lot, I think, in my Instagram or Facebook. I can't remember which one it is. Okay, so Benjamin says, I have noticed that my beard now has 2 layers. One layer is dark and one is blonde. I wonder if that's because I'm approaching my 30s and about to get my mature beard. Oh man, I've always had some grays in my beard, but it's funny. You go through phases where you can't tell what your beard is going to do. Sometimes it seems like you have more grays than other times. It's really strange how that works. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Harry then tossed it, and I did notice Harry does say it's not for head shaving on the box. Yeah. Yeah, I get that a lot. Michael says, I have yet to use a razor on the noggin. Only buzzers. I want to try a razor, but don't want the beat up look from the first attempt. Well, then look at my head shaving tutorials. Look at that, and you'll get a good idea of what you should do. Um, so there's a good number. It seems like there's a number of you that know who Twitch is. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you're welcome, Twitch. You're very welcome. And you guys that have a beard and are interested in that kind of thing, you should go check them out. So AZ is asking, how do you get over a breakup? It's not easy. It depends on the nature of the breakup, I guess. If it was a toxic relationship and the person's not good for you and they've proved it over and over, my suggestion is you break all contact with them. Like when they say go no contact, that's what they mean. I would break contact with them, and not if you can. In some cases you can't. If you have children involved, if you have assets involved, but I would minimize the contact as much as you could. And then I would probably, and this is hard to do, easier to say than and hard to do, but I would probably avoid dating for a while. And the reason why is because people that are in pain tend to broadcast their pain quite a bit, and then you'll end up putting that on somebody else, and that's not going to make for a good time for the other person. I know because I used to do it, and so to make it short, that's what I would say. Okay. All right. So AZ, I hope that helps a little bit. Hope that helps a little bit because I have not been the best person at that in my life, but hindsight is 2020, right? So Mike says, "Have a good night, everyone. Looks like you're on your way to the live stream, Greg. I'll definitely stop in when I can." Well, good. It's good to see you here, Mike, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Twitch Beers is about to get a fresh shave while watching. uh, could you possibly? Okay, so David Model, he's asking, could you possibly remake your how to trim a V-shaped beard video in the coming months? The original is definitely showing its age. I've thought about that because that video has gotten so many views and people told me like it so much. And when I go back and watch it, I'm going, why do people like this? It's not even that good. I don't know. It's just how I feel about it, but that's not a bad idea. I just don't know if that particular beard style is good for me anymore. But it doesn't mean it wouldn't be good for you guys because apparently a lot of you guys really, really like that. Let me see. Just join. Oh, Nomad's here. Good to see you, Nomad. Benjamin saying I'm considering changing over to Brio because my beard is getting too tough for the ones I have currently. Like today, when I was doing my neck with it, some of the teeth broke off and it pulled. Okay. Are you talking about the Beardscape? That's a good trimmer. I have two favorite trimmers. One is the Brio Beardscape, and the other is the Wahl Aqua trimmer. AZ, thank you very, very much for the super chat. That was very nice of you. I appreciate it very much. You're very welcome. And I'm willing to elaborate on the comments. Show back up. Make it to another live stream if you can, and feel free to ask away. That's what this is all about, is just getting together with a bunch of you guys here and finding out what we want to talk about. So Nomad says, I had a bad breakup in October last year. It was very painful for me. A lot of it was my fault, but some of it was her fault. Needless to say, I am not dating anytime soon. Probably smart. And he goes on to say, together only a few months, but my friends for 4 years, online friends, we never met in person, but video chatted all the time. I can definitely see how that could happen. Definitely see how that could happen. Twitch Beer says, not just that, but hurt people hurt people. You're right. Absolutely right. And also, you may jump into something too soon. That is an enormous risk. Find yourself first and make yourself happy. The right love will find you. I would say, if you, and you're right, I agree with you. If you can do it, and you can do it, if you can do it, I would say take a break from dating for a year. and find out how well you can cope without having someone else there. And when you can do that, then you're going to be more well equipped to please yourself instead of expecting someone else to please you and make you happy. I firmly believe that because I've made the mistake of doing just the opposite before. It's how we learn. I think most people do. You're not alone. Most people absolutely do experience this. I was respectful and didn't break up. I didn't react with anger during the breakup. That's good. Dennis Boone says, "What's your favorite live bearded scent?" Executive. I gotta scratch my foot here. Executive is my favorite one, but I haven't tried every single one. But I've tried, at least half of them, or maybe a little more than half of them. They don't have a lot, but Executive is my jam. I like Tombstone. I do too. That's what Nathan's saying. I like Tombstone. Yeah, that's a good one. I like anything tobacco scented. Javier says, or Jose is saying, I am hesitating to try to trim my beard. Want to try to replicate what my barber did with the sides being really tight and gradually getting longer toward the center. Been meaning to try your method. Yeah, it's really tricky. I really don't like fading for the most part because it's too easy to mess up. And it depends on how long you want your beard. If you want like a much longer beard, like you remember when George Bruno had a big beard, like down to here, it was like the most majestic thing you've ever seen. And he even said that you shouldn't cut the sides or fade the sides because this hair will contribute to the beefiness or the girth of the beard. It will contribute to that. And if you fade this too much, you're taking away from the beard. And I totally agree with that. It just depends on what your beard goals are. Dennis says he is using Executive. That's nice. Yeah, I just love that. I can smell it as I'm thinking about it. Main issue. Okay, so Nomad's saying main issue with her was that we had a lot of very, very bad toxic mutual friends and groups we used to be a part of, and me leaving those people caused them to pursue both of us later on. Yeah, you really got to pay attention to people's friends, especially hers. Yeah. And with that, they made me out to be the worst person in the world to her, and she believed them, and I just let her go. I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm not the worst of the worst. Well, listen, you don't want to have to compete. You don't want to have to compete to keep somebody. That's the thing. If you have to do that, you're better off. You probably dodged a bullet. Michael saying, I love tobacco scents too. I'm a sucker for tobacco scents. I don't even smoke cigars or pipes, but it's really tempting. When I see George Bruno smoking a pipe or a cigar, he makes it look cool and he makes it look relaxing. And yeah, marriage is adaptability more than compatibility. Yeah. Well, because compatibility, yeah, you make a good point because compatibility isn't guaranteed. People change. I'd say women change more than men. Okay, men kind of stay the same for the most part, but they're like, okay. So there's not really what you think is compatible is just misunderstood. You're in for the ride of your life. I'm looking at on my screen. I'm seeing I have options here for different things. Like I could write. Sorry about this, guys. I got distracted to something. I'm afraid to touch these buttons because I'm afraid it'll do something to my stream. Anyway, I'm going to get away from that. Okay. So you can call me Ben. Benjamin Davis is saying this. You can call me Ben in the future. By the way, I like your vibe so much. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Ben. Thank you. And I'm glad when you guys clarify to me exactly how you would prefer to be referred to. That's helpful. So Trey says, I once trimmed my sides and almost instantly regretted it. I know the feeling. It took about a year for it all to even out again. I know it's it's so frustrating to do that. Michael says, I fade nothing. My sideburn hairs are all the way to the base of the beard. That's the ticket right there. It's crazy, actually. You just got to style it right. Yep, there you go. You're absolutely right. It makes a huge difference. And that's what George Bruno says. So Nomad says a lot of those bad mutual friends and stuff were people from over a year, sometimes 2, 3 years ago. It just continued to be an issue. They claimed I was isolating her, which is false. Just let people talk. Just let them talk. Just let them talk. Don't compete. Don't try. Don't try. No, and you're out of the situation now. But if you find yourself in that situation, you just don't try to compete. Just let nature take its course and tell you what people are all about. All right. So Ben's saying I'm considering growing a proper long beard, just not shaving for a year. Yeah. So the first time I tried to grow my beard out for a year, I said I wasn't gonna trim it. I wasn't gonna do anything to it. I started off with a clean shaven face. I did nothing to the neck. Like some guys they'll approach it like, well, I'm gonna keep the neck clean for a while, as along the way until I get to a certain point, and then I'm gonna let it grow out. I get it. I've done that too. But the first time I grew a big beard out, I didn't do that. I had to start with a clean shaven. I did nothing. And I got as far as 6 months before I could take it any longer. And I went and got my beard trimmed by a guy that I found on YouTube, and he did a fantastic job. His name is Matt with Gifted Hands, and he's in Largo. I don't know if he still is or not, but he did a fantastic job on my beard. But even then, I wish I would have waited. I never made it to the 12-month mark. This last time I did. And yeah. So, all right. So David says, yeah, I just debulk my sideburns. I never fade them. They provide structure for a strong beard with volume. Yes, I agree. Twitch Beard says, I always say, learn to be alone. It's important to be able to be alone and enjoy your own company. Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of a loner anyway. But when you get out of a relationship, it's kind of hard to deal with that void, and all you want to do is self-soothe with somebody else. So he's saying good night, Nathan. I was glad to see you here. I'll see you in the next one. So Nomad says, yeah, my major mistake in the past was hanging around the people I hated, trying to debate, control situations, etc., which made enemies. But now I realize just letting go and just focusing on me is the best. And now I'm honestly not all that sad about it anymore. It still makes me anxious and stuff, but that was a long time ago. Is there more to this? Yeah, I don't know. I could be inaccurate about what I'm about to say, but maybe tended to have some people pleaser tendencies. When you say you're hanging around people you hated, well, why would somebody do that? Well, I think the reason somebody might is because they feel compelled to, like you said, some control them. It doesn't sound malicious, but we also tend to want to give people what we think they want. I could be wrong about that. I could be completely wrong about that. But I say that because I've experienced this. I was like that. I was like that a lot. So Ben, and that's it seems somewhat relatable, but we could be on a different wavelength where that's concerned. So Ben says, me and my fiance have been together for nearly 12 years, getting married in July next year. And yes, it's all about adaptability. We've had lows and highs, and we have survived. She is my soulmate. Okay. Very good. Well, what time is it? It's like 10 to 9. So Nomad says, I tried to basically please those people. It was all based on the same large group of people. An online community I was in for years, but I've since left that place late last summer. Well, good for you. Good for you. Well, guys, I think it's a good time for me to shut things down. It's closing in on 11 o'clock. And I'm going to look at a Wi-Fi booster, as Mike talked about. And hopefully that will that will help. Because even if I get another streaming service, another a platform, if my Wi-Fi is not good enough, it won't make any difference anyway. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to come back Thursday night at 9 o'clock, and we're going to hit this again and just have fun. So you guys are saying good night here, it looks like. It was nice chatting with you guys too. Oh, Sean from Ireland. Big fan of my channel. Thank you, Sean. Well, Sean, I'm sorry to see you get in here so late, but we'll be back. I'll be back 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Thursday night. So I'll get to become a little more well acquainted with you at that time. Look forward to it. And yeah, I'll look over the comments as I get ready to get off this, because if I just keep reading them, then I'll be here all night. But then I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed you guys immensely. So I hope that you've got something out of that. I know I have. I enjoy it, and I see doing this probably for a very long time. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. In the meantime, be wise.